Is it okay?
Start.
Hi everyone. Today I will start memory organization. Memory organization. Actually, most of the students find this subject very tough. In colleges, I have seen that they say that computer organization is a really tough subject. So I want to make this very easy to the students. So first I will start with memory organization. I will say how the memory is organized and what type of technique we use to map different types of memory together. We'll go step by step, and finally I will also provide, after completing the lecture of computer organization, I will provide the solutions of exercises of standard books, and generally for CO, the standard book which is followed for GATE examination and different other examinations, generally Morris Mano is used. So I will also solve the exercises of Morris Mano after this whole subject is covered. So today let's start with memory organization. So there are basically, if we see it from an overview, there are basically four types of memories are available. The first one is called registers. These registers are inside the CPU only and the processor. And the second one is called the cache memory. Cache memory is a very high speed memory, and it is sometimes also called as hidden memory. The reason of it I will tell you later. Actually, cache only means hidden, so the name hidden memory is also given. Finally, everybody knows that we obviously have the main memory, which is generally the RAM, random access memory, and it is generally made up of DRAMs, which are capacitors. And finally, we have the last memory, which is the final memory in most of the architectures, and it is known as the secondary memory. So these are the four types of memory we have in a computer, and I want to give you some differences and some similarities among them. So I will make a type of chart. Just look at it. The first one we can say it as name. So first one will be register. Second one will be cache memory. Third one will be main memory. And the fourth one will be secondary memory. If we see the level, registers are the nearest to the CPU, so it is in the first level, then cache memory comes, it is in the second level, then the main memory, and then the secondary memory, which is at the last. Now if we compare the sizes, then generally the register is less than 1 KB, it is the smallest memory, but it is also the costliest one.
3.
So if we compare the sizes, registers are generally less than 1 KB, cache memory is generally less than 16 MB in a typical computer, not mandatory. In the main memory is less than 16 GB and the secondary memory is generally greater than 100 GB. Now let's compare the access times. Means how much time it takes to access a word or a block from each of these types of memory. The registers are the fastest. So it will be very less, and access time is in nanoseconds. For the register, it is typically from 0.25 nanoseconds to 0.5 nanoseconds. For the cache memory, it is generally from 0.5 to 25 nanoseconds. And in main memory, it is typically from 80 to 250 nanoseconds. And finally, for the secondary memory, it is more than, say, 50. Means it is very big actually. So as we can see that slowly the access time is increasing, and the size is also increasing one by one. Now let's compare the implementation, how each of these memories is implemented. Registers are generally implemented with customized multi-ports. The details of the implementation is not needed, at least for this course, just for the information. And cache memory is made with SRAM, static RAM, and obviously which is flip-flops. The main memory, as I said before, is made up of DRAMs or dynamic RAMs, and these are capacitors. And the secondary memories are generally magnetic disks, tapes, etc. And let's see who manages these memories. So we'll make another column as managed by. Registers are managed by compilers. The cache memory is managed by the hardware. The main memory is managed by the operating system, the OS, and the secondary memory is also managed by the operating system. So these are the some of the distinctions of different types of memory present in the computer. So we can see that the registers are the fastest and the smallest memory. So registers have more higher cost than all this, and by seeing all the memory we can say that we can form a type of hierarchy for these memories. So first of all, let's draw a small diagram to understand how the memory are set up in the computer. At the first we have CPU registers. And
3.
After the CPU registers, we have the cache memory. Then we have the main memory. And finally we have the secondary memory. In between CPU registers and cache memory, words are exchanged. In between cache memory and main memory, blocks are exchanged. And in between main memory and secondary memory, pages are exchanged. We will get to know about all these, what are words, what are blocks, and what are pages in the later lectures. Just remember that this type of exchange happens. So how these things occurs? First, the CPU generates a memory request, which is first referred to the cache memory. When the data is in the cache, then we say that it is a hit, and when the data is not in the cache, then we say that it is miss. See, whenever CPU requests something from the memory, we don't see into the CPU registers, we first see into the cache memory, because these are very costly memories and these are very less in number. So we use it for different purpose, for keeping any temporary data and all while processing a instruction. For any other reference to the memory, we first access the cache memory. If we find the referenced request or word into the cache memory, then we say it a hit, otherwise we say it a miss. So if it is a hit, then the data will be transferred to the CPU in the form of words, as we have seen before. Otherwise the operation will be missed and the reference will be forwarded to the main memory. This is the structure of a typical hierarchical memory organization. Now, same thing in the main memory. When the operation is hit in the main memory, what we do, the data is first transferred to the cache memory, and from the cache memory we transfer it to the CPU register. Even if it is a miss in the main memory, we finally go to the secondary memory. And as secondary memory is the final memory, if anything is not present in either cache memory or main memory, it will obviously found it in secondary memory. Now, when we hit the secondary memory, the data will be first transferred to the main memory in the form of pages, then from main memory to the cache memory in the form of blocks, and from the cache memory to the CPU in the form of words. So this is the structure of a typical hierarchical memory organization. Actually, if we see, there are two types of organization in which the memory can be. First one is called the hierarchical memory organization, which is this one. I do a lot of mistake in spelling, let's check it whether it is hierarchical or not. Another one is called the simultaneous or parallel memory organization.
Three.
In simultaneous or parallel memory organization, we have the processor here, and every other memory is directly connected. For example, here we have the cache memory, here we have the main memory, and here we have the secondary memory. So, if we don't find the word in cache memory, if it is a miss, then if we find it in main memory, then we can directly access it from main memory. Like the previous one, we don't have to move the word from main memory to the cache memory and then access it. Here the advantage is that we can directly access it from the main memory, and similarly for the second memory. So these two are generally the two of the organizations which is followed depending on the architecture of the computer. Now, in many textbooks, we can see that this memory hierarchy is represented in a pyramid. I will draw the pyramid for you. So at the top, obviously we have the registers, then comes the cache, then comes the main memory, then comes the magnetic disks, then comes the magnetic tapes. So as we go through this pyramid, if we go down in this, the access time increases. If we go upward, the frequency increases. Frequency means the usage, how many times we are using the memory. And if we go down, the size will be increased as I have told you, and the cost increases if we go up. So in this way we can see the memory hierarchical organization in a pyramid fashion. So this was all the basics about the memory organization. In the next class I will give you some definitions of what is hit, what is a miss, what is hit latency, miss latency, and I will talk about. So let me write it from next class. First I will cover some definitions, then I will talk about locality of reference, and thirdly I will solve some questions so that you get used to solving questions, including gate questions. I will solve gate questions as much as possible. I will take the questions from every year and will solve it in front of you, and plus from some standard books. We will follow Maurice Manu for this. Okay, thank you for your valuable time for seeing this video. Please like and subscribe if you find it useful, and till then, happy learning. Thank you.